What's going on, knuckleheads? This is George with Fighters Rep, and this is our Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker post-fight reaction discussion. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a new undisputed, undefeated in the UFC at least, middleweight champion of the world. And I was totally wrong in my prediction, thinking that Robert Whittaker would squeak by with a decision. It ended up being Israel Adesanya smashing through with a second round knockout at 3 minutes and 33 seconds into round number 2. Just an absolute destruction on the part of Israel Adesanya to, just basically KO Robert Whittaker in front of 57,000 plus people. It was a fantastic performance. And I'm blown away. I'm blown away by Israel Adesanya's performance. I'm blown away by the fact that he was able to finish Robert Whittaker. That said, it could have been the layoff, but from what I saw, Israel Adesanya was extremely calm in there. And just the better man. Was very smart in his striking and picking his shots. Robert Whittaker was lunging in and out. I thought he was going to have to make it a fight on the inside. He wasn't really doing that. He was lunging in and out, which I always think is a bad idea for the shorter guy. I always think it's a better idea for the shorter guy to get on the inside and stay on the inside. It was a fun fight while it lasted. Whittaker did land some shots. Let's kind of go through it. Again, lunging in and out, trying to catch Adesanya. I thought he was doing pretty well in the first round. And then at the end of the first round, right before the bell rang, got caught with a short right hook counter. That rung Whittaker's bell, dropped him to the ground. Looked like the referee was jumping to protect him from Israel Adesanya coming to finish the fight, and then the bell rang. It was a bit confusing for a second. Were they stopping the fight? Was the fight going to continue? But I guess they gave it the benefit of the doubt. They said, hey, the bell rang, let him go back to his corner. Robert Whittaker went back to his corner. Looked like he was a bit out of it, but did okay and recovered, came back in the second round and was putting up a fight again. But again, he went into this whole lunging in and out. Eventually, he lunged in. He did land a good straight shot on Adesanya. He threw a combination in close. Adesanya got hit, then dodged, came back with a counter, and just absolutely starched Robert Whittaker with that counter. It was these mid-range counter hooks that Adesanya was throwing, and it looked like the first time he dropped Robert Whittaker, that Adesanya just threw one. He just threw one mid-range, kind of tight hook and dropped Robert Whittaker with it. But the second time for the finish, he threw that one and then he followed it up with a second one. It was the second one that took Robert Whittaker out. So, it's impressive to see Adesanya's improvisation in his striking, especially in his counters, because he didn't just throw one counter this time. He was throwing a combination counter, and he got hit. But man, did he finish the fight. Connected on the counter. Robert Whittaker, stumbled backwards, landed on his butt. Israel Adesanya jumped on him, started pounding away at him, and the referee just called the fight off. Just a beautiful knockout. Actually, it was a TKO. Looks like 3 minutes and 33 seconds into round number 1. So, knuckleheads, we have a new middleweight champion in the UFC, and he right away called out Paulo Costa and they've got some beef, so that's going to be a really, really fun fight. He called him an inflated animal balloon, something like that. I think that's going to be a fantastic fight. It's Israel Adesanya is entertaining, man. I wasn't a huge fan of the entrance. I must say, I felt like at some point he was going to morph into like a Power Ranger with all the corny dancing he was doing. And then, Goldar was going to come out while Robert Whittaker's music was playing and they were going to fight. Because it was really kind of cheesy. I don't know. I don't care what anybody says. That was a cheesy entrance with the dancing and stuff. But he's super entertaining. He does get caught once in a while. So he seems like, he could be vulnerable too, which makes it fun. He's willing to put himself. I don't know if he's willing to put himself, but he does get hit. He does get hit. But he's an incredible striker. And I think a fight between him and Costa after this fight, man, a fight between him and Costa could be really, really crazy. Because Costa's a big, strong guy. And he's not going to do, I don't think Costa's going to do what Whittaker did, which is lunge in and out, lunge in and out. The problem with lunging in and out like that is, the force of the impact of the shots, it amplifies as you jump in. So when Israel Adesanya, was landing some of his shots, it was probably doing, at least double the damage it would normally do because Whittaker was jumping in and jumping out, jumping in and jumping out. But a guy like Paulo Costa, he's just going to walk in and just hammer at you like he usually does, like he did against Yoel Romero and like he did against Uriah Hall. And that's going to be a super entertaining fight. Really, really good fight tonight, you guys. Oh man. And the co-main event, Dan Hooker. Man, what a fantastic night for Israel Adesanya's team. I believe they're called City Kickboxing. Dan Hooker, Brad Riddell also on the card. But Dan Hooker in the co-main event absolutely worked. Absolutely worked Al Iaquinta, man. He really made a statement in the division. And then at the end of it, Dan Hooker says, next person I want is Dustin Poirier. I'm going to smash your face in. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, so Dan Hooker and Israel Adesanya had the place absolutely lit. 57,000 plus people at the Marvel Stadium. Israel Adesanya saying he wants to work with Marvel. You guys better give him a role as something because this guy's got enough charisma for everybody in the UFC. He's a polarizing figure. He talks a lot of shit. He's backed it up so far. This guy's the new McGregor when McGregor was McGregor. Not this more recent McGregor that's kind of, lost his mind. But this is a prime McGregor, the new version, and I'm really pumped up about him. He's funny with the stuff he says, like when he said, the John Jones pre-workout thing. He's slick. He's slick with his mouth. He's slick in the ring. This guy is a star. This guy's a real star. Again, I could have done without the entrance, or if he is going to do an entrance, I think he's got to step it up next time. And he can't keep using the one-handed cartwheel move. I've already peeped the one-handed cartwheel move one time. If you're going to put that into your dance routine again, we're going to have an issue. I think he needs to go back, work on the dance routine, work on, the entrance a little bit. I don't want to feel like I'm watching Power Rangers or one of these these dorky ass crumping dance things. But man, you gotta love him. At least he's trying to add some spiciness to this, to the sport, and he does a great job. I'm gonna head on over to the chat now because I got people asking me questions in there. So let's see what you guys are talking about real quick. There we are. Marco Martinez saying total destruction wasn't even close. Jaden Johnson, just to, calm you down, my friend, thank you so much for joining the channel. Please subscribe. Israel Adesanya won by TKO, second round knockout, 3 minutes and 33 seconds into the second round. We have a new undisputed middleweight champion of the world. Knuckleheads, if you like what you're seeing, if you want to join us, we do this immediately after all the big fights. And every Thursday at minimum at 9 p.m. we predict the fights. That's 9 p.m. Pacific time. So click the links below, subscribe, donate to the channel, donate to the super chat. All the money will be reinvested back into making this channel an even better forum for us to come and discuss the fights, and also turning fighters promotions into the best striking promotion in the world. The majority of the proceeds will go there. So yeah, let's head back to the chat here. Marco Martinez saying Whittaker looked like he was putting everything in every shot, whereas Izzy was fighting with patience. Absolutely, because he kept bouncing in and bouncing out. So, I mean, and I'm talking about Whittaker lunging in and bouncing out. So Israel Adesanya didn't have to put that much on the shots. He was just sitting there patient, waiting for Hooker to come and then trying to catch him with a counter. And eventually he did. And eventually he finished the fight. Marco Martinez saying Dan Hooker looked tremendous as well. I agree. I was just saying that, Marco, man. Dan Hooker put it on Ally Aquinta. Absolutely shut him out. Jaden Johnson, I've already said, my friend, Israel Adesanya won TKO second round, 3 minutes and 33 seconds into the second round. And Dan Hooker won by unanimous decision over Ally Aquinta in what was an easy fight for Dan Hooker. He made that look easy, and then he called out Dustin Poirier and told him, I'm going to smash your face in to Dustin Poirier. Man, I'm loving these New Zealand, Australian guys, man. These guys are tough guys. They're making the sport exciting. Izzy's team, City Kickboxing, man, they're putting themselves on the map with their performances tonight. They went 3-0 as far as I know. And just awesome, man. Marco Martinez saying Costa will be a punching bag. He doesn't have enough weapons. I'd rather see him fight Romero, but Costa's the rightful number one. I don't think so, man. I think Costa's a big, strong guy that's going to stay on the inside. He's going to get on the inside, and he's going to stay on the inside. He's not going to be lunging in and out the way Whittaker does. So I think that's going to put a lot of pressure on Israel Adesanya, and I'd be very interested to see how he deals with that pressure. I think that's going to be a really fun fight. And then can Israel Adesanya hurt a guy like Paulo Costa, who's an absolute terminator in there? That's going to be a great fight. I think stylistically, that's an even better fight than what we saw tonight. I thought Whittaker might be able to win this fight by a very slight decision. I thought it was a 50-50 fight. But then when I saw Whittaker's strategy of lunging in and out, I didn't like it. I didn't like it from the get-go, knuckleheads, because when you're bouncing in and out like that, you're just asking to get countered. And when you're bouncing in and out that hard, man, the force of those punches landing, those counters landing, are amplified as you run into them. And it was just not a good look. Not a good look for Robert Whittaker, who's, I'm sure he'll be back. He's a great champ. He's been a great champ. I do think he had some success in there tonight, but he's got to change his strategy if he's going to fight Israel Adesanya. He can't do that again. Marco Martinez saying off topic, or rather, Arc 7X Angel saying Paulo will get stopped very easily, my friend. I don't think so. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, if it happens, and when it happens. I think it's happening next. I'm really interested to see where it happens. It'd be really interesting to see if they did it in Brazil. With all the I don't think they would do it in Brazil with all the talking Israel Adesanya does. He might end up having to get escorted out of there the way Colby Covington did. But yeah, I think Costa fights this fight differently. I think he goes in and stays on the inside and tries to bang Israel Adesanya out. And I think that's a better strategy than what Whittaker was doing in bouncing in and out. And he's also a bigger, I think, sturdier guy than Whittaker. Marco Martinez is saying off topic, but related to last night's topic, I've lost some respect for Clarissa Shields. she was still talking smack about her opponent after she knew how hurt the trainer was. Oh my goodness. I don't even want to get into that Clarissa Shields issue. I've had a lot of comments on the video that I posted about that. I think for the most part, a lot of people agree that you shouldn't hit a 71-year-old man in the video that I made. But some people were saying, he deserved it because he was talking a lot of smack. Forgive me if I disagree that a 71-year-old talking trash deserves to get knocked out and his skull fractured. But, to each their own. I mean, everybody has their opinion. Some of these people maybe come from a different culture where it's okay to just, punch a 71-year-old in the face. That doesn't fly where I'm from. You'd end up in a dumpster, I think, if you did that where I'm from. So we'll just leave it at that. But back to the situation at hand. Israel Adesanya, the new undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, absolutely wiping out Robert Whittaker, man, in the second round, making it look easy. Now, that's not to say that Whittaker didn't have some success, but my goodness, he made it look real good in there. And I was kind of worried. About Adesanya, if I'm being honest with you, because he looked gaunt. He looked sick in there with his cheekbones sticking out. And he had me worried. I was like, is this guy ready to fight? Because his face looks like he hasn't eaten in a month. And I was like, man, is this guy going to be healthy to fight? But, he looked great out there, man. Him, Dan Hooker, Brad Riddell, all these guys from City Kickboxing, they look like a bunch of monsters, man. And I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen next. I wonder if after that Paulo Costa fight, too, assuming he gets through Costa, if he's going to want to fight John Jones after that, man. And I'd like to hear what John Jones says about the fight tonight. I mean, that was some really, really exciting stuff, knuckleheads. So yeah, a new middleweight champion in the UFC, Israel, the last style bender, Adesanya, 3 minutes and 33 seconds to round number 2. Absolutely starches the former champion in Robert Whittaker, and he's now 18-0 and just on a tear in the UFC. On a tear. Maybe the only guy that can beat him is Alex Pereira if he comes out of glory and becomes a UFC fighter and works on his ground game. Maybe he's the only guy that can beat Adesanya. But no, to be honest, I'd be really interested in seeing how Paulo Costa does against Israel Adesanya because, man, that guy's a Terminator. That guy's gonna go in there and fight a different fight. He's gonna fight the kind of fight that you need to fight, I think, to beat Israel Adesanya. And another thing I noticed from tonight is neither guy looked like they lost a step, despite being in an absolute war in their most recent fight. And what I'm referring to is Robert Whittaker went to war with Yoel Romero in his last couple fights. And Israel Adesanya obviously had that Kelvin Gastelum fight. So, I mean, I'm always worried that when guys go through a war like that, they're going to come back into the octagon and not look the same. But both guys looked good tonight. Obviously, Israel Adesanya looked the better man and was the better man. But both guys looked good tonight. They didn't show the sort of permanent damage that I was kind of half anticipating from their previous fights. And I thought that was a really good thing. I wonder where Robert Whittaker goes from here. Robert Whittaker, this kind of loss is not really something to hang your head about. He lost to a better guy tonight. I think he picked the wrong strategy, or he just got caught, basically. He was having some success, but he needs to go back, maybe take a couple more fights and work his way back up to the top. He was a great champion, and, I think he'll be back. I think he'll be back, and I definitely think he's got a shot to, to maybe reclaim the championship one day. But we'll see, we'll see. Israel Adesanya, after today, looks like a freaking beast. And I thought this was a 50-50 fight. I thought Robert Whittaker, again, would maybe be able to squeak by with a win, considering the fact that he fought Yoel Romero twice and survived that. But man, Israel Adesanya, oof. Man, did he show the world what he's made out of. I mean, just fought the perfect fight, was very patient. I mean, he knew, Robert Whittaker's style, perhaps the karate background, that he was going to be lunging in and out and he was going to have to counter him. And he was so patient, and he wasn't putting 100% on his punches because he knew he didn't have to with a guy that's lunging in at him like that. He knew that even if he throws his shots at 50%, his counter hooks, that the fact that Robert Whittaker's jumping in so hard to come after him is going to make those 50% 150%. You see what I'm saying, guys? So very, very smart tactical fight on the part of Israel Adesanya. And very, very excited to see what he does when he goes up against Paulo Costa, who I think fights a very Mexican style, and I'm referring to boxing, a very Mexican style fight, which I think is going to give Israel Adesanya a lot more problems than the guys he's fought in the past. Now, will Adesanya improve so much by the time that fight comes together that he'll just wash Paulo Costa out too, who he called the fake Ricky Martin, blow up animal balloon or whatever he called him? Oh man, that was good stuff. I forgive you, Israel Adesanya, for that cheesy Power Rangers entrance because you called Paulo Costa Ricky Martin. So you're good with me, and especially for the way you fight, you've redeemed yourself for the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers entrance you put on this morning. Big CJ every day, brother. Thank you so much for joining the chat, my man. Guys, if you like what you're seeing, if you like to talk about combat sports, we do this immediately after every big fight. We also predict the fights every Thursday, 9 p.m. Pacific time. If you like what you see, click the subscribe button. Show some love. Donate to the Super Chat. If you guys donate just $1 each person to the Super Chat, it's going to get reinvested into continuing to grow the channel and the promotion. We're Fighters Rep Promotion. I think we're the best striking event in the entire state of California, maybe in the nation. We got our next show coming up in the first quarter of next year. We deal with some of the most talented young strikers in the world. So definitely anything you donate, the majority of the proceeds are going to get reinvested right back in to Fighters Rep Promotions. You can also get your Fighters Rep gear in the links in the description. And also, if you buy anything from Amazon, do so in the link below. We're an Amazon associate. We're an affiliate. If you buy anything from Amazon, including the hand wraps, I have linked below. After clicking the link below, if you buy anything, we get a cut. And obviously, I reinvest the majority of the proceeds right back into the promotion. You guys help me build the promotion. So, again, fantastic fight, you guys. Man, I'm really blown away by Israel Adesanya's performance. He also showed tonight, he can knock people out with one punch. I mean, he really laid Robert Whittaker out at the end of the first round. I thought it was over then. And then he finished the fight. Again, was it entirely him or was it the combination and amplification of the inertia of Robert Whittaker coming forward, coming straight at Israel Adesanya? I don't know. I don't know if that contributed to, what seems to be one-punch knockout power, which he didn't seem to possess in the Kelvin Gastelum fight. Maybe Gastelum has a better chin than Whittaker, or maybe Adesanya's leveling up. But whatever it is, he showed that he potentially has one-punch knockout power. You know, a tall, slim, skinny guy with an 80-inch reach, 6'4" in the middleweight division with one-punch knockout power. This guy is a problem, and the ability to talk smack and get in his opponent's head, that's a real problem. So Arc 7X Angel is saying Paulo is just a walking target. As far as I'm concerned, he was exposed by 41-year-old Romero. He'll have no answer for Adesanya's speed, movement, and reach. You know, I think he can bully Adesanya. I think he can fight the kind of fight that Sean Porter fought against Errol Spence. Kind of bully position away from him and go after him. I think a key is, so he's going to fight Mexican style. Mexican style is, you know, you put pressure, but you go to the body. You go to the liver. Now, that's something Costa doesn't really do that much. But I think if he goes forward Mexican style, even though he's Brazilian, but he goes forward Mexican style like he usually does, he uses his physicality to kind of push Israel Adesanya out of place and prevent him from setting his feet, landing his counters. I think if he goes to the body, especially to the liver, and does real Mexican style work like he typically does, he can really give Adesanya a fight. I mean, I think he can take Adesanya out. But I don't know. I don't know. Right now, I got to give the edge. to Adesanya. But I can see Paulo Costa, Ricky Martin look-alike, inflatable animal balloon, doing some serious Mexican-style work, Brazilian Mexican style. If he just goes in there, you know, lets the hands go like he did against, you know, Uriah Hall and like he did against Yoel Romero, but he's got to finish off those combos, or in the midst of those combos, go to the liver. You got to go to the liver. Go under that right arm. Bam! Bang the liver. Mess with Israel Adesanya's mobility. Take him out to the body, you know, and body-head combinations. Because Israel's there to be hit. You know, and with MMA, the gloves are so small, you're there to be hit. You know, you don't see a lot of guys in MMA that don't get hit. Because those gloves, man, they're so small. It's not like in boxing where you can cover yourself up. If you cover yourself up in MMA, look, you still got, especially you got a big ass head like me. Look, you got so much head that's still exposed. You got temples, you got ears, your chin, you know. You got to kind of, even if you go like this, look how much head is still exposed. You know, you can't do it in MMA the way you would in boxing or kickboxing. So he's there to be hit. That's why Gaslam was able to hit him so many times. Even tonight, Whittaker hit him a few times, you know. Whittaker's mistake, I think, tonight was he didn't go to the body at all. Whittaker did not go to the body at all. But wannabe Ricky Martin, if Ricky Martin goes to the body, MMA Ricky Martin, like Archangel is saying, man, this could be the guy to beat in the middleweight division. I'm just saying, don't count MMA Ricky out. He's a killer. Malcolm Coley is saying he's a big mouth. He is a big mouth. You know, he is a big mouth. You know, but he's at least slightly intelligent. You know, at least more than 50% of the time with the bullshit he talks. You know. Some of these guys, you know, they talk shit. It doesn't make sense. It's stupid. It's corny. But Israel Adesanya at least keeps it entertaining at times with his talking. So that I appreciate, you know. And again, even though I had an issue with his cheesy entrance and he looked like he was morphing into a Power Ranger, he redeemed himself with his comments post-fight and his actions during the fight. That was a fantastic fight. Arc 7X Angel is saying, only hope MMA Ricky has to beat Israel is to not get caught mid-cycle. That's, you know, that's a possibility. He could be, listen, I don't want to accuse anyone of doing anything unless I have solid evidence. That's the way I roll, okay? I don't accuse anyone of PEDs or anything like that unless I have solid evidence, okay? Because otherwise you're putting yourself out there for a defamation lawsuit, guys. If there's anything I learned in being an attorney and going to law school is be careful when you talk shit, because if you don't have anything to back it up, they can sue you for defamation or libel if you write it down. Slander is when you talk the shit. Libel is when you write the shit. Either one is defamation, right? So you're welcome, guys. I kind of learned something in those 3 years of law school, and that might have been the only thing I learned in those entire 3 years. I also learned about drinking energy drinks. Speaking of which, you can get your energy drinks from Amazon if you click the Amazon Associates link below. Anything you buy from there, it'll take you to Everlast hand wraps, which I think are pretty dope. But anything you buy from there after clicking that link, we'll get some commission and it'll cost you nothing. And again, everybody shops at Amazon, so I ask you guys to do that. And also, please subscribe to the channel. It's greatly appreciated. Arc 7X Angel. If he's not on that gas, I have oceanfront property on the moon. Arc 7X Angel, you are on a roll, my man. You are on a roll. Arc 7X Angel, there's one thing I gotta disagree with you about. You're saying that he got exposed by 41-year-old Romero. I thought he won that fight. I thought it was a good fight. I thought he kept coming forward. I think at the end, he was starting to gas a little bit, But let's be honest. I mean, if MMA Ricky Martin is on the juice, then it's very likely that Yoel Romero is on the juice. So, they kind of negate each other, and I don't have any problem with that there. So, that's all I've got for you guys tonight. Fantastic work by Israel Adesanya, the new middleweight champion of the UFC. Before I sign out again, one more time, I'm going to ask you guys, please subscribe below if you like what you're seeing. If you like to discuss combat sports, we do this after every big fight. The Golovkin fight was actually on tonight. Another very close fight. Feel free to give me your thoughts on that in the comments below, and your thoughts on this fight in the comments below. Feel free to get your Fighters Rep gear. Remember, anything you donate below in the links or purchase in the links below, it all gets reinvested into these young fighters that I'm building up for Fighters Rep Promotions to build the great Fighters Rep Promotions kickboxing promotion, which I think is probably going to be the best in the world at some point. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for that, Arc 7X Angel. Tell me it's a good stream as always. You be blessed too, my man. Hey, you guys have a great night. Also, be sure to check back in on the channel frequently. We're putting a lot of interviews up. I just got another one with Chad George where he was discussing the ADCC, which happened right down the street in Long Beach. We got Edgar Barbary not too long ago, one of our heavyweights, a very entertaining guy who just got knockout of the night. We'll probably be releasing our knockout of the night from Fighters Rep 8 tonight or tomorrow. And then the Fighters Rep 8 videos will start to be uploaded. So you guys will have free fights that you'll be able to watch, courtesy of Fighters Rep and courtesy of what we're building on this channel. So thank you guys. You guys have a fantastic night and enjoy your new middleweight champion of the world, Israel Adesanya. Click the link below for your official Fighters Rep merchandise and join Knucklehead Nation.